The young and the restless spoilers shock. The disappearance of Noah Newman has sent shockwaves through Genoa City and beyond, thrusting Sharon and Nick into a nightmare no parent ever wants to face. For days the silence around their son's whereabouts has been deafening, broken only by cryptic hints and vague suspicions that do little to calm their fears. Noah's life has never been one without turbulence, but this time the stakes are higher, the shadows deeper, and the mystery far more dangerous than anything his family has confronted before. When whispers emerge of a kidnapping, Sharon's maternal instincts collide with Nick's relentless determination. Both of them consumed with fear that their son may be in the hands of someone who not only wants to hurt him but to use him as leverage in a game they don't yet understand. The anguish intensifies when a surprising figure arrives in Nice, carrying not just answers but confessions that pull the entire ordeal into focus. Alli Nguyen, Jack Abbott's granddaughter, is the unexpected thread that ties Noah's current plight to his recent past. To the Newman family, her arrival in Nice is both shocking and illuminating. While Sharon and Nick knew that Noah had left Genoa City in search of peace, they had never fully grasped that his decision was entwined with a profound and abiding love for Alli. The two of them had chosen to escape the chaos of their family legacies, seeking solace in one another and carving out a quiet life away from the noise of boardrooms, betrayals, and power struggles. Their relationship, forged in secrecy but strengthened by shared desires for simplicity, had been a sanctuary until now. Alli's presence in Nice, however, is not a reunion of joy but a desperate cry for help. Her face pale, her voice trembling, Alli delivers the devastating revelation: Noah is missing. What was once a story of young lovers building a new life together has spiraled into a nightmare, one punctuated by threats and fear. She explains that in the days leading up to his disappearance, she had begun receiving letters that chilled her blood and stripped her of the sense of safety she and Noah had tried so hard to preserve. These were not the ramblings of a stranger or the vague harassment of a faceless enemy. They were targeted, deliberate, and designed to terrify. The letters threatened not only Noah's safety but hinted at secrets Alli herself might not fully understand. As though someone out there knew far more about their lives than either of them had ever revealed. The contents of the letters, when revealed, are as haunting as they are cryptic. Written in clipped sentences with no clear signature, they spoke of debts unpaid, of legacies tarnished, and of the sins of fathers and grandfathers bleeding into the present. One passage warned, "You cannot outrun the blood that binds you. Noah will pay until the families pay. Silence will not save him. Love will not shield him." Another note was even more direct: "He is mine now. If you want him alive, tell his father to come to me. Tell Nick Newman he cannot hide from what he owes." For Alli, each word was a knife. Not just for its menace but for its suggestion that Noah's abduction was not random but deeply tied to the very names they had sought to escape. In her panic, Alli admits to Sharon and Nick that she tried to follow the trail on her own, believing that if she could meet the demands of the letters she might save Noah before the threats became reality. But her efforts only left her more vulnerable, lost in a labyrinth of fear and dead ends, until finally she realized she could no longer carry the burden alone. That is why she came to Nice, racing to intercept Sharon and Nick before it was too late. The guilt in her voice is unmistakable as she confesses that she never wanted to drag the Newman family into this darkness, but the truth is unavoidable. If Noah is to be saved, his parents must know everything, and they must be prepared to face the shadowy figure behind the threats. The name whispered in rumors is Roger, a man few in Genoa City have heard of, yet one who seems to loom like a ghost over this unfolding drama. Roger has not yet stepped into the light, but the whispers surrounding him paint a portrait of a man entangled in dangerous missions and clandestine dealings. A figure who operates in the margins where business, crime, and vendetta blur together. Some say he is connected to debts buried deep in Newman Enterprises' past. Others believe his target is the Abbott family, with Noah and Alli as collateral in a larger vendetta. What remains certain is that his motives are personal, his methods precise, and his ability to manipulate terror chillingly effective. For Nick, the revelation hardens his resolve. The letters are not simply threats, they are challenges, bait meant to draw him into confrontation. He recognizes the tone of a man who wants something more than money or silence. This is about legacy, about forcing the Newmans to confront ghosts they would rather forget. Sharon, meanwhile, feels the crushing weight of helplessness, her maternal instincts screaming for action but her fear for Noah clouding every thought. The arrival of Alli complicates the emotions further, as Sharon must reconcile the fact that her son's greatest confidant, the woman he loves, has been carrying this secret in isolation while Noah's life hangs in the balance. The drama intensifies when Alli hands over the latest letter, one delivered just before she left to find Nick and Sharon. This one carries a final warning: time is running out. Come alone, Nick. Bring no one else, or Noah dies. The starkness of the threat leaves no room for ambiguity. The kidnapper has made his terms clear, and Nick is thrust into an impossible choice. Does he go alone, risking everything, or does he defy the demand, knowing that one wrong move could seal Noah's fate? The letters demand that Nick personally face the abductor suggests that Roger, if he is indeed the man behind this, has a personal vendetta tied directly to him. For Alli, the fear is twofold. Not only does she worry for Noah's life, but she also fears that her involvement has painted a target on her own back. The kidnapper's knowledge of their relationship, his references to her name and her family, suggest that she too is a pawn in a larger game. Yet she steels herself with determination, insisting that she will not abandon Noah, even if it means putting herself at risk. Her presence, fragile yet resolute, becomes a reminder to Sharon and Nick that this is not just about saving their son but about protecting the fragile happiness he tried to build with the woman he loves. As the pieces fall into place, the question of Roger's identity grows more urgent. Is he truly the mastermind behind Noah's disappearance, or is his name a smokescreen for someone closer, someone already woven into the fabric of Genoa City's power struggles? Could he be tied to Newman Enterprises' shadowy past, to Jack Abbott's legacy, or even to enemies who have long harbored grudges against both families? Until he steps forward, the letters are the only clues, each one a twisted riddle designed to test their resolve. What Alli has revealed leaves Sharon and Nick in a place of tormenting uncertainty. They know their son is alive, but they also know his life hangs on the whims of a man who thrives on control and intimidation. The letters have given them just enough to hope, yet not enough to act without fear. And as Genoa City braces for the fallout, fans are left wondering what choices Nick will make, how Sharon will balance fear with strength, and whether Alli's presence will become the key to Noah's salvation or the spark that ignites even greater danger. The situation surrounding Noah Newman's abduction deepens with every revelation, and the more Alli speaks, the more it becomes clear that her survival was never an accident. She confesses to Nick and Sharon that the only reason she has not been taken alongside Noah is because the mastermind behind this nightmare explicitly wanted her free, wanted her to carry the terrifying news to Noah's parents. Alli's safety, such as it is, has been a cruel calculation, a deliberate choice meant to ensure that the message would not be distorted, that Nick and Sharon would hear directly from someone they trusted, someone whose love for Noah made her desperate enough to rush across continents to deliver the warning. The chilling realization dawns on everyone. Noah was not kidnapped for ransom in the traditional sense but as leverage in a much larger and more personal vendetta. The question remains, however, what does Roger truly want? The letters he left behind drip with menace but lack clarity, hinting at debts and grudges but refusing to state plainly the price for Noah's release. For Sharon, this ambiguity is its own form of torture, for she cannot plan or negotiate against shadows. Nick, however, sees through the vagueness to something far more sinister. This is not about money, or even about public humiliation. This is about power. Roger wants them to dance to his tune, to step into his arena on his terms, with every decision weighed against the life of their son. His goal may not yet be visible, but his methods show a man who understands how to use fear as a weapon. Alli, racked with guilt, tells them through tears that she blames herself for failing Noah, that despite her attempts to protect him she could not prevent his abduction. She apologizes over and over, but Sharon, though terrified, cannot blame the young woman who has risked everything to bring them the truth. Nick, however, cannot allow himself the luxury of comfort. Every second wasted is a second Noah remains at the mercy of a man they do not yet understand, and so, without hesitation, he insists that they must move, must follow the trail to London where the letters have directed them. The decision is swift, immediate, and absolute. Sharon agrees, knowing that hesitation is not an option. Their pain is sharpened into resolve as they prepare to confront whatever waits them across the channel. Their determination does not go unnoticed, however. Jack Abbott, when he learns of Noah's abduction, refuses to remain on the sidelines. To him, Noah is not just the son of Nick and Sharon but also the beloved of his granddaughter Allie, and Jack has long carried the burden of responsibility for his family's entanglements. For too long he has watched as those connected to him have become targets in the rivalries that swirl around Genoa City, and he cannot allow Noah to remain in danger without offering his support. Jack's decision to travel to London is as much about duty as it is about love, for he knows that Allie, thrust into the center of this nightmare, will need his presence as much as Nick and Sharon need allies in the fight. It is a rare moment of unity between the Abbotts and the Newmans, two families so often at odds, bound together by the shared terror of saving someone they all cherish. Yet, as their paths converge, questions about Roger only multiply. Who is this man who has orchestrated such a precise and merciless plan? What history does he have with Nick and Sharon that could justify such cruelty? The name Roger means little to them at first glance, but whispers from their pasts haunt them with possibilities. Could he be tied to the darker days of Newman Enterprises, two enemies crushed by Victor but never silenced? Could he be a ghost from Sharon's past, someone connected to her struggles, her mistakes, her long battles with loss and love? Or is he a figure entirely new, with grievances that remain hidden but lethal nonetheless? The uncertainty gnaws at them, but one truth is undeniable. No man executes such a plan without a deeply personal motive, and Roger's vendetta runs deeper than they can yet see. Allie's journey does not end there, however. In London, as the search intensifies and as Nick and Sharon prepare themselves for confrontation, she unexpectedly crosses paths with Claire and Holden. The encounter is shocking not only because of its timing but because of its familiarity. To her astonishment, they know each other. The recognition is instant, the kind that cannot be faked or explained away as coincidence. The nature of their past connection, however, remains murky, and in the midst of a crisis it raises even more questions. How long have they known one another? Under what circumstances? And most importantly, could their presence here be tied to Noah's disappearance, either as allies in the rescue or as players in Roger's dangerous game? The revelation shakes Allie, for the comfort of familiar faces is tempered by the dread that perhaps she does not know them as well as she thought. If they are connected to Roger, knowingly or not, her trust in them could endanger not only herself but Nick, Sharon, and Jack as well. On the other hand, if their connection to her is genuine and untainted, then perhaps their presence is a blessing, a sign that not all hope is lost. But Genoa City's history has taught everyone one brutal lesson: in times of crisis, trust is the most dangerous gamble of all. For Nick and Sharon, the confrontation ahead in London is not only a rescue mission but a journey into the heart of a vendetta they barely understand. They must navigate Roger's demands, decipher his motives, and protect their son without knowing who among them is truly an ally. Jack's presence offers strength, but it also ties the Abbotts more deeply into a feud that may not be theirs to fight. And Allie, standing at the intersection of love, loyalty, and fear, must decide whether her connection to Clara and Holden is the key to salvation or a door into betrayal. The stakes have never been higher. Noah's life hangs in the balance, Roger's true motives remain hidden in shadow, and the families of Genoa City find themselves pulled into a dangerous game far from home. The only certainty is that when the truth is revealed, it will not only explain why Noah was taken but expose the tangled web of grudges, debts, and betrayals that have been festering beneath the surface for years. And when that moment comes, no one, either Newman nor Abbott, will emerge unscathed.